15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Those opposed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Abstaining? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 26, 7, 6.
And our last resolution is to have a secondary street named for Samantha Friedman, and we have a speaker.
Hi, good evening. My name is Raphael Tompkin. I'm a teacher at PS 333 Manhattan School for Children. Samantha was my colleague, and you know, she's beloved by all of us at Manhattan School for Children. Please excuse me, I'm just really tired. I've been up since really early today. You know, we terribly all miss Samantha, and you know, she passed away last October. You know, she fought brain cancer for many years, and you know, at the age of 27, and we, you know, it's actually, I'm sorry, it's really hard for me to stand here, and words can't do any justice to how much my colleagues and I and our students miss Samantha, and you know, and that, please, you know, if you guys can support the secondary co-naming of the West 93rd Street in Amsterdam, Samantha Friedman Way. My colleagues and I would be, you know, very grateful for that, as would our students, and you know, and Samantha's family's here. Thank you guys so much for coming. I know you guys have waited so long for this motion to come up, and you guys drove so far, and thank you for coming, and you know, this would really mean a lot to all of us.
Okay, we'll call the question. All those in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Those opposed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anybody abstaining? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 25, 5, 7.
Thank you, everybody. I want to remind everybody that next week there's a change in schedule because the 8th and the 9th are Jewish holidays, so transportation is moved to the 29th of October, and BCI is moved to the 30th of October, so it's a Tuesday and a Wednesday.
Is the full board, because of Election Day, also moved?
No. We haven't discussed it. When is the election?
Well, the first Tuesday is also Election Day, although in this district, I don't think there's anything up for vote.
Yeah, I think if it's okay with everybody, we'll keep it on the 5th.
No, there's the charter stuff.
Oh, the charter stuff, right, okay.
But I think everyone can vote and then come.
No, there's some of us work as co-workers also.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do we want to move it to Wednesday the 6th?
Wednesday
Yes.
the 6th.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wednesday the 6th.
Sounds
okay.
like we should do that.
Yes.
Well, I will send out an email to everybody that it's Wednesday the 6th.
Thank you.
I'm now turning it over to our BCI people. We have two speakers.
We have all of the SLA applications, new applications are pretty pro forma. They met all of our criteria. I would like to bundle them. However, we have two speakers for long play record bar, and so I'd like to call them to speak about a long play. Is the second bullet point. It's 200 West 84th Street. It was the former Via Spiga. It has been empty for 2 years, and it was well posted. I'm the one who checked the postings. Anyway, so we'd like to hear from Lisa Haber, and then Halom.
Mark Shalom.
Mark Shalom.
I'll go first.
Okay, Mark Shalom.
Yeah, hi. Hello, thank you very much. I just want to introduce myself. I'm Mark Shalom, and I'm representing 46 individuals who live at 202 West 84th Street, right next door to the proposed bar. that will be selling liquor late at night. When Spiga was there, we had a lot of trash that we got tickets for, even though we cleaned up their trash. And sometimes the officers of the sanitation department are quicker than anybody else. In fact, they should be in charge of the police department, but that's a whole other story. Anyway, I am here because many of you have stated safety. First of all, I've been in Manhattan, living in Manhattan since 1974. And I am committed to safety and the health and welfare of young kids. We are very concerned, as the 46 individuals, about a bar. We're happy to have a restaurant, but having people who drink late at night, and then we have a small building, and they'll be sitting on the stoop right next door because there's no space for them to sit themselves. We urge you to consider voting against their liquor license, if you will, or at the very least, limiting how long they could serve liquor.
They actually have limited, you weren't at the committee meeting, but it's a very short schedule and they close at midnight, and she is geared, the owner is an attorney who is gearing this towards a mature audience, so it's not the kind of bar that you would see on Amsterdam Avenue across the street. So if you look at our minutes, and I can't look with my glasses as well, I can assure you that the application is until, oh, here we go, where's the hours? From Tuesday through Thursday, 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. Saturday it closes at 2 a.m. and Sunday it closes at midnight. So it's a pretty early, it's not at 4 a.m. So
2 a.m. Yeah.
on Saturdays.
Yeah, but still, 2 a.m., that's exactly when, you know, we have kids living there, they go to PS.
I live around the block.
You know, and we're very concerned. Amsterdam, it's fine, it's quite, as it is, we're already, succumbing to all of the plastics and the cups from the EMC theaters that the wind blows up.
Yeah.
And it's horrible. We're trying to have a nice little residential block.
Thank you very much, sir. And you were the other person? Thank you so much.
Yes, I
Lisa Mann.
represent the tenants. My name is Lisa Mann. It's a quality of life issue. It's a great concern. This 20 years ago, you know, the neighborhood was not a good neighborhood, and this neighborhood, thank God, has just come up, pulled itself up by the bootstraps. It's a lovely, desirable neighborhood. And most of the people in 202 West 84th Street come to that neighborhood. They have small children. They came because across the street is one of the a prized public school. So bringing in a drinking establishment when there are small people with small children is just the wrong place for this type of establishment. On one of the busy avenues is fine, not on a small residential street. It's already being bombarded by the trash coming up from the AMC Theater, but the basic concern is that the residents of this building who came specifically because it was a quiet, tranquil street, and they could raise their children and their babies, do not want a drinking establishment with unsavory characters late at night. 2 a.m. is late, and this is not the place to do this type of establishment. This is something that should belong on a busy street, on an avenue, not on this tree-lined quiet street.
Thank you very much. So here's what we're going to do, folks. We're going to vote. We're going to bundle every other application for the SLA 2-year new application licenses. That's number 6. And then we're going to put 200 West 84th Street under number 14. So so let's first talk about the bundle. You can look at Bearburger, et cetera. All of them have met the criteria of SLA applications. Shall we take a vote?
Sure.
On the bundle, on 6. And we're pulling out, once again at J, we're pulling out 200 West 85th.
Those in favor?
Those in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, Abstaining? 37,000.
We went from 49 voting for chair.
Now we will take the vote. Excuse me, we're now voting on.
May I say something on my behalf?
Absolutely. Oh, you are, this is the owner. Yes. Yes, please.
I am not moving into the neighborhood to have a bar full of unsavory characters. I live at 89th and Riverside. I have for 12 years. I love the Upper West Side. What I'm creating is a classy, comfortable, welcoming, adult cocktail lounge for the appreciation and enjoyment of vinyl records. I am not playing music late at night loudly. I'm going to soundproof the ceiling so that the people upstairs are not bothered. I have every intention of picking up trash that is outside the building. I am not encouraging anyone to be hanging out after hours on the stoops next door. I have every intention of being as respectful as I can to my neighbors. I know that the neighborhood needs something like my establishment. My clientele are going to be a majority of the old regulars from the West Restaurant on 84th and Broadway. They are all very excited about my opening. I have no intention of being an unsavory, dangerous place in what I consider one of the greatest neighborhoods in the world. Thank you.
Thank you.
Robert.
Well, Linda, I think the vinyl generation that by 1 o'clock. That was the vinyl generation. What time is it? I'm nodding off already.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to say something?
Andrew.
Andrew?
Is the objection to this particular bar the existence of it, or the fact that it's going to be open until 2:30?
No, the existence is fine. If it's midnight, as Ms.
Well,
Adler had stated.
It's Alexander.
I'm sorry.
Not a problem, not a problem.
We're assisted,
Oh, I'm
but it
sorry,
doesn't
your
matter.
sticker says, anyway, I apologize. I would prefer if we could limit the liquor consumption to midnight period, because in the past, even from Spigo, we've had problems, and it's frustrating because we happen to have right next door, it's literally 8-10 feet away, a little steps that people naturally sit down on, and if you drank too much, even if you are from the vinyl generation as I am, you're gonna sit down or something. So I am concerned about the lateness.
Okay, here's, we had no, I'm going to respond, thanks. We had no objection on the committee to this because the hours were pretty late, and let's face it, this is going to be focused on a baby boomer crowd. As Robert said, we'll be asleep before 1. Mark.
I just want to take us back to issues we've had in the past where a prior tenant in a commercial space had unfortunate habits, and I don't want us to vote based on somebody else's bad baggage. It sounds like we have a responsible tenant here. The committee has done its work, and I think that we should give them the chance, and I think that we should avail ourselves going forward of the opportunity to ask for a recall on the renewal of the liquor license if that turns out to be something we need to do. But given all of our vacant storefronts, I think we need to give these folks a chance. That's my view.
Thank you. Okay, so shall we call to question?
Yeah.
Okay.
All those in
Those in
favor?
favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. Those opposed? 1, I'm sorry, just abstaining. And 1.
Reminder that this goes under 14.
Thank you.
Okay, number 7 is a renewal of 2 unenclosed sidewalk cafes. On one of them, Motorino, 510 Columbus Avenue. There was some concern by some of the neighbors because they use a wood burning stove, which at times throws a soot into the through the chimney, and the building next door is above that chimney, and they have some issues with that. We approved it with the caveat that the owner will
Give us access to look at
the owner will work with the community also to improve that situation.
Unfortunately, we had a little bit of time last, next week we will be going up there with our community to see, what's going on with the help them.
I also just wanted to note that even though we voted this way, by no ways that DCA looks at that. They're really concerned with the sidewalk cafe, and I'm going to look at that by itself. But the owner is willing to work and improve the situation. So all those in favor?
Wait,
Yeah,
question. One of the issues I have to declare ineligible. The other, we just want procedurally what can we do since they're bundled?
You just tell them that you
Alright.
one of them, right?
Got it.
Okay. So all those in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Opposed? Abstaining?
So 8 and 9, I'm going to bundle them together. These are two disapprovals because they didn't show up.
I'm seeing Ale House always fails to show
I
up.
will say I finally did manage to get a hold of the new manager at Viva La Crêpe, but and the board office spoke to her, but they still did not post.
Okay, so these are the 8 and 9 for disapproval. All those in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. Those opposed? Abstaining? 1.
Okay, number 10, 718 Amsterdam Avenue. Rancho Taquileria. This is for a new unenclosed sidewalk cafe. The one feature on this one is that it does wrap around a little bit into a westerly faceplate. Now, it's wrapping around into an area where there's a stoop that comes out, so it doesn't really it doesn't obstruct the passageway. Also, on that same sidewalk, on that side, there are other establishments with sidewalk cafes in that also on that street.
Just one across the street.
Yeah, across the street, yes.
At Tapas Bar.
Right. Okay, those in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Opposed? Abstaining? Are you raising your?
Outside.
Mark, I'm coming with the,
Okay.
So thank you, folks, and I'm humbled by the support, and I pledge to earn it from those that I didn't get the votes from this time. So thanks very much. Let's turn to preservation. We have one application for you tonight. It's 319 West 84th Street. And the application concerns, and the reason that this is before you is because it actually harkens back. This is the first time we've had it this year, but this used to be our bread and butter. What am I talking about? A rooftop addition and a rear yard extension. In this instance, there are 3 aspects to the resolution that are before you. They are going to restore the front stoop, which was denuded of it once upon a time, I think pre-1940, they are going to change the L-shaped rear extension into the rear yard into a full width addition that only goes up 3 floors. And then they have a rooftop addition. Essentially what it is a, so how are we doing here? We're not getting the whole thing here. That's too bad. Let's see if we can zoom out a little bit or something. Okay, so what this is going to show you when we finally get to scroll down, and maybe Jerry, if we just scroll down. Thanks. There we go. Okay, so over here is the current condition. You'll see that there's no stoop and there's an areaway with a fence. What the proposal is to turn what used to be the main entrance back into the main entrance with a door that is that was based on a sample from the community on the same block. You'll see that it has the typical newel posts and so forth. And they're going to restore the detail around the front entrance and make it a grand front entrance again. Can we go to the next slide, please? Looks like it's going to slide down there. I'm not sure why. All right, so what this slide shows you is that there is, see right here, that line? That's where the, oh, actually, here it is, the best way to look at it. Next door, you see that right behind the cornice there is a small room, but not a full 4th floor. So their proposal is to extend to a full 4th floor, but not all the way back to the facade line in the rear facade. They are preserving the corbelling detail of the brick as a common roof line that goes on into the rest of the block. And then on top of it, they're adding just the stair bulkhead, not an occupiable space. And one of the virtues of it is that it's only half width because it's not an occupiable space. And then if you go to the last, well actually there are 2 more slides. When we saw this at committee, their proposal was to do what we've seen a lot of, which is to take a full width addition and put a fairly monumental bit of glass. And they were going to have sort of a gray brick surrounding it and then red brick up top here. What our committee, and what you'll see in the resolution before you, is that we call for all the brick to be one color. Pick one, either the gray or the red. I think there was a small preference for red, but there was plenty of support for gray. And then to break up this monumental glass in some way so that it has a more human scale. And this is what the resolution was based on, and this is what the vote was taken on at committee. Since then, the applicant has gotten back to us and taken us up on our recommendation. So if you go to the next slide, you'll see that they are breaking up the monumental glass. They're turning all of the brick into red brick to marry up with the buildings on either side. And then they use the stucco to distinguish the new from the old on the top. That's essentially the resolution before you. Are there any questions?
Question.
I see one.
Can you go back to the existing condition of the facade, the first one?
The front or back?
The front. I just have a question, and maybe it's just the appearance, but normally the 3 windows above typically align with the 2 windows that were not the stoop. So my question to you is, do you know if all 3 windows were replaced? Because if the stoop was gone, and those look like they were oddly positioned.
I agree that they were oddly positioned, and I don't know the answer to that, but I happen to have the architect right here.
There you go.
So can you answer the question?
You know the tax map photo from 1940?
Yes.
That's what I need. Those 2 windows on the bottom. Yeah.
Those are existing
Okay.
locations, and the door was replaced with the window that you can see here.
So they just pushed it off to one side and put the window in.
So where the door was, they placed it with the window, and we're just taking that window out and making it slightly bigger to put the original window in and the stoop in.
Okay, any other questions while we're
The last one
ready?
is, has to do with the, bulkhead on the, at the back. Again, it's a question of the rear elevation, if you could show the picture.
Christian, can you screen, there, that's the one. What's the question?
So, yes, on the bulkhead, the axonometric that shows that little row, which is just the bulkhead.
Yep.
That is the
Not on that, no. There was some concern about the stair bulkhead itself, and we took that into account when we did our decision making. I'm sorry, we have one more.
I have two things. One is I'm in favor of the stoop and opposed to the rooftop and rear yard addition. I don't know if we want to split the question or if I can just register that. In terms of the stoop, is there any way that we can approve it on behalf of transportation as well to save them from having to go through the process again?
No, because they have to make an actual application to the Department of Transportation for an irrevocable consent, and that hasn't been done yet, nor, is that correct? They usually don't do that until after they get this approval. So I appreciate the attempt to expedite. Rather than debate the issue, we're going to split this resolution in two. The first will be to approve the front stoop. I'm sorry, what's the one you wanted to separate out?
The other two parts, the rooftop and rear yard addition.
All right, so so A and B. So I'm sorry. So this is going to be 15. Will be is it the bulkhead you wanted to separate out? 15 will be the bulkhead, and then the existing one will be the rest of the application.
No, the opposite. The stoop is.
Which is the one you want to separate out?
The rooftop and rear yard. Well, or the stoop. We can separate the stoop.
Okay. It's simpler to do this than it is to take a poll. Can I see a voting sheet, please? Great. So, item 11 on your voting sheet is going to be everything except the front stoop restoration. Is that clear? Yes. Beg your pardon? I'm just trying to get this moving along. So everything except the front stoop. So that's the rooftop addition, the extension, and the rear yard addition. And with, I should note, thanks to the applicant for actually taking us seriously and making the changes we recommended. Okay, so on the stoop, I'm sorry, not the stoop. So number 11, we're going to call the question. All right? All right, all in favor?
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33,